Hi, everybody, and welcome back to The Rush. Well, there is a brand new magazine that's come to Vancouver, and you will definitely want to get your hands on it. It is called Vancouver Home Magazine, and I'm joined now by the creator and publisher, Leah. How are you?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited that you've got a Vancouver edition.
You know what? It's been a long time coming. And it's amazing to sort of see it in your hands and to see people start reading it, enjoying it. I mean, this is a labor of love. I mean, we started out in the East Coast and finally made it here, and Vancouver Home is born.
So what made the timing right for you to have a Vancouver edition, because you have a Toronto and a Montreal edition of your magazine?
That's right, and I knew Vancouver design was amazing. And all of my clients out east were like, you have to do something out west. The climate is so much milder, incredible architecture. You've got to do this. But if you do a Cantonese version too.
And that's interesting, because I do have the Cantonese version right here. Of course, in Montreal, you have the French version as well.
Yes,
why did you decide that this was the right thing for your magazine to do?
Because I think that, you know, especially, I mean, if you come to Vancouver, it's such an amazing community, Asian-speaking community here. And I felt like, how could I launch a magazine and not pay tribute to that wonderful community who loves design? And it was sort of a no-brainer, just like having a French version of Montreal Home in Quebec.
Now, does the design differ really between Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver? Can you look at a photo and just tell what you're looking at in what city?
Oh, yeah. Like all those gorgeous tall windows that you see in Vancouver. I mean, the climates in Montreal and Toronto can get pretty harsh. And here they sort of stay fairly mild. And so a lot of the architecture is easily distinguishable from the West Coast to the East Coast.
What defines Toronto, in your opinion, for design?
It's I mean, Toronto is on the cusp of everything. You've got a lot of traditional, you've got a lot of modern, you've got a lot of everything, but you have that in all three cities. I think that the architecture in Vancouver, and as far as like the condos, huge condo market in Toronto, huge condo market in Vancouver, there's a lot of similarities in terms of what people are incorporating into their homes. We see a lot of modern, we see a lot of traditional.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's more the architecture, I find, that lends itself, the milder climate that lends itself to some cooler stuff on the West Coast.
I like to hear that. Now let's talk about the magazine a little bit more, because what people, you know, they might not think of celebrity interviews when it comes to a magazine that is about home. And in this edition, you've got Andie MacDowell, also Seth Rogen, and from Dragon's Den, Robert Herjavec. Why have the celebrity element?
Oh my goodness, I'm bitten by the bug. I'm bitten by the bug. You know what? Every celebrity interview that I've done, and I've done quite a few, and I continue to do more. It's just there's something very fascinating, and I think that we can both agree, right? That once you start to interview celebrities, something fascinating about people who've made it, how they live, wanting to know what sort of makes them tick.
Yeah, and I think it's true. I mean, we love to be looky-loos just about real estate in general, but when there's a celebrity name attached to it, you can really learn more about them.
Exactly, and don't you want to know?
Absolutely, I'm a snoop.
I'm a snoop too. So the thing is, like, once I started with this, I mean, people just love it. They go to the newsstands the minute they hear the celebrity in it, whether it's a hockey player or it's a dragon like Robert Herjavec. They're like, they want to know.
Well, we've got some photos of Robert Herjavec. I mean, being a dragon, I knew it was going to be palatial and fabulous, but really this home is incredible.
Yes, and they're fabulous, by the way. Robert and Diane, I did a whole video interview too. We got the exclusive on the house. And I mean, look how opulent it is. I mean, the outside is just, it's palatial.
Backyard, huh?
Yeah, you can do cartwheels. You get a good workout in there.
And where is this home? Is it?
This is on the bridle path. This is on the bridle. You can't even believe how much square footage they have in like a very central part of Toronto. There is only one place in Toronto that can offer that, and that's the bridle path.
Wow,
and
gorgeous.
It is incredible. It is incredible. That's our sort of national piece. Like when we do some bigger celebrities like Robert Herjavec, we'll do it across the country.
Because everybody wants to know.
Because everybody wants to know, you know? But Seth Rogen, on the other hand, is of course a Vancouverite, and Andie MacDowell was here to film Cedar Cove. So.
Well, let's talk about Seth Rogen. I interviewed him when he was literally a kid, and he probably doesn't remember because he was doing stand-up comedy at a little joint called the Urban Well, and somebody brought him on our show and said, this kid's funny, but look at him now.
I bet you he remembers.
Oh, he probably does. I don't know.
He is such a down-to-earth guy, let me tell you.
So Vancouver.
He is so Vancouver. He is so down-to-earth. He is so cool. Him and his wife, I mean, I loved Lauren. They're just delightful people, and they're proud to be in Vancouver. I mean, she's not from Vancouver. She's from a small town in the States, and they spend part of their time in LA, part of their time in Vancouver, and they're just like the most down-to-earth people. Same friends. He's got the same friends from
And
like...
we see them in his movies.
Yeah.
It's true.
But he would, I bet you he'd remember.
And what else did you chat with Seth about?
Oh, we chatted about, whether he slows down when he's in Vancouver, whether he speeds up when he's in Vancouver. What's the deal, Seth? What do you do when you go to Vancouver? Tell us where you eat. Like, we want to get
everything.
We want to get the stalkers like rolling in after you. So he told me a whole bunch of information, which is in that interview.
And let's talk about Andy McDowell. She was in town filming. What does she love about Vancouver?
She's gorgeous. And by the way, her and Robert, they retweeted the launch. They're just so gorgeous. She loved Vancouver because she likes the outdoors. She prides herself in being fit. And so she's always looking for outdoor activity. She spent a lot of time, in the parks here. How gorgeous is Vancouver? How gorgeous are the parks? I'm like trying to convince my husband to
you
move
gotta come here more.
Well, it makes me want to be more fit. It makes me want to take better care because that
wears off when you're. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's talk about design trends that we've got some great photos of.
Yes.
First of all, we're going to look at something that's a little bit of a mix of the traditional and modern. Exactly what you were talking about. This is gorgeous.
Yes. You see, the outdoors of this place obviously right away tell you that this is Vancouver. Those windows everywhere, it's just beautiful. But in terms of the furnishings of the place, you have a lot of modern elements. Look at the sleek couch. You could sort of see that white couch on the side. And then you've got some traditional elements. Look at those chairs, Yeah. I love eclectic design. I love when people are able to incorporate traditional with modern. I think that makes for a wonderful blend.
And when you've got a background like the view that you have in that home.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? I mean, a view like
amazing.
that, amazing.
Yeah.
But anybody has this view. I mean, Vancouver's just gorgeous.
And we have a lot of lofts here in Vancouver in the downtown area. This is very cool.
This is gorgeous. I mean, a lot of spaces have really high ceilings, lend themselves well to that sort of modern look, modern edge, great neutral tones, which we see in design this year. And some colors, some pops of colors, which,
Are we seeing color making a comeback?
We are seeing color making a comeback in splashes. So, it's great to use color in accessories, but you don't want to use color everywhere. So, for instance, emerald green is the Pantone color of the year. Emerald green is fabulous. It's great as a vase. It's great as elements in a rug.
Thank you. We have emerald green vases right behind you there because somebody designed our studio.
Oh, smart person. But you probably don't want to have like an emerald green living room.
You want to go with the accessories.
You want to go with pieces. You want to incorporate color so that it pops, and you don't want to overdo it. But yes, color is definitely making
And also,
a
you
comeback.
don't want to break the bank on something that might be trendy.
Well, that's the problem with people. Like a lot of times they get all, caught up with design and, oh my God, this color is hot. I'm going to go buy like a green couch. And like 2 months later, they're like, oh,
why did I buy a green couch?
I'm very tired of the green couch.
Okay, let's look at some more great pictures here. We've got, this is such a beautiful home. Bringing in the outdoors is something we love to do here in Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver is just amazing. And, across the country, we try to bring the outdoors in. It's a trend that we're seeing a lot of. And, this woodsy type of look, we see a lot of wood in Vancouver, a lot of green, and, it's just a feeling, like an organic feeling. And this is a perfect emulation of bringing the outside in. And look at that view again. I mean, it's just...
The view, and I love that floating staircase with the glass. It's beautiful. And there's another great view. And embracing the outside here in Vancouver, even though it rains 10 months of the year, we love to take advantage of our patios and balconies.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've seen more people spend money on their outdoor living here vis-a-vis Montreal or Toronto than anywhere else.
Really?
Oh yes, people here, I mean, I've seen people spend $500,000 on their outdoor living space.
Oh, if it's pouring rain, we'll still be on a patio.
Yeah, it just closed off, but but they have like you saw there. It was actually that area of it was closed in.
Yeah,
there were windows and
stuff. Which is great because you can still go out there and enjoy, especially if you've got a fire pit like the one in that photograph.
It's absolutely amazing, and like I said, you can't find that anywhere but in Vancouver. And so this is amazing beauty that we were able to capture in the pages of the magazine. It's just.
And let's talk about black and white. Is this unique to Vancouver, or is this just a trend across the country?
Yeah, you see, that's what I was saying. That in terms of architecture, some trends you can't do them, copy them in Toronto, Montreal. But interior design, black and white is definitely what's trending. We see a lot of condos that have a lot of white in it. We see a lot of black walls. You see a lot of grayscale, and that's everywhere. but that picture was perfect to sort of illustrate what we're talking about in terms of
And
black
what
and
I
white.
also love about the magazine is, I mean, yes, it's Vancouver, but you can really just get design inspiration. When I was flipping through it, I mean, it just made me want to go home and decorate.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, you know, this is a magazine for everybody. For those people who can afford, you know, the luxury lifestyle and can spend big bucks, to the people who will do it sort of on a budget.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about just enjoying your nest and making it your own. And this is hopefully...
And it's the time of year where we love to nest when it starts, whether
It's
you're in
getting
Toronto,
cold.
Montreal, or Vancouver. It's the time we spend
It's
more
getting
time
cold.
inside. Yeah,
You're
just a little
right.
bit. Okay, we have a couple of questions from our audience
Let's go.
here for you, Leah. We've got Sonia on the social media desk. Sonia, what is our first question?
Our first question is from a viewer from the States, and he's wondering, or they're wondering, if you plan to expand there, perhaps to Seattle, which is apparently a number of lovely homes.
We actually have. I have my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and I have some Washington members, and they've asked me about that. Actually, my next pit stop is probably he's correct in saying, am I going to expand? I'm definitely going to expand, and we're headed south. I'm probably going to do Florida first because I vacation there a lot, and I know a lot of people there. And sometimes where you go is who you know. So I'm comfortable with that, but Seattle's a wonderful, wonderful city, and definitely it's on my radar. But I won't go there first. But stand by and...
Florida is an interesting one too, because especially Miami, the architecture there and the
Amazing.
design is just, it's so, you can tell when something's from Miami.
Yes, I love like different cultural influences. I love how Miami people come from all over the world and they nest there in the wintertime, and you get so many different influences, and it's so over the top cool.
Totally.
That I have to do it. I have to do Miami home next.
Okay, one more question, Sonia?
And we're wondering, how do you stay so successful in publishing, which is a very competitive field, especially these days?
Right. Well, you know, I think that, you know, publishing, there's different aspects to publishing. In home design magazines, there is still a lot of interest in sort of holding that magazine and having that inspirational experience. You know, having the magazines take you to a fantasy land, to a dream place. You can't get that when you're on your tablet. You can't get that, you know, that high resolution color feeling that you get with a high gloss magazine. So there are pockets of strength in the publishing category, and we're one of those pockets of strength. But despite that, you always have to bring it. So in order to keep people excited, you know, incorporate great design, incorporate celebrity interviews, keep it fresh, you know, keep it fun, and never rest on your laurels, and I never rest on my laurels.
I can tell that you don't. And it's funny that you say that because, you know, with newspapers, I totally can read them happily online, but there's something about a magazine that I want to be a tactile experience. Why is that?
Because it's you really feel like you've gone into this home, like you're holding it, you know? Like when you open a page and you stop on it, you feel like you're there. Whereas when you've got that tablet, first of all, everything on the web is low resolution. This is high resolution. It's just a different experience. So.
Well, welcome to Vancouver, and thank you so much. And when can people pick it up? When is it going to be on newsstands?
Well, it's going to be on newsstands in about a week, and Globe and Mail subscribers are going to get a treat because they're going to get a copy for free.
Awesome.
Complimentary, so they can look forward to that on the 29th and then on newsstands right after.
Well, Leah, thank you so much for joining us today. So in about a week's time, or if you subscribe to the Globe and Mail, you will get this beautiful magazine. Tons of great stuff in here and some great interviews as well. And if you want to find out more information about Leah, you can go to her website at vancouverhomemag.com. We're going to take a break, and we will be back with more right after that. Stay tuned.